All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a life-related topic. This is something I hear people say all the time. It's a general phrase. People say it with regards to it could be their career, it could be their life, it could be their schooling, their job. It could be business, it could be health, all this kind of stuff. And this is a common phrase. Have you ever heard this phrase before? I'm sure you probably have. I'm just not good enough. Okay, or I'm just not talented enough. I'm just not good at that, whatever it is. I'm not gifted in that way. I'm not like these other people over here that are gifted, or this person over there that is gifted or is just better than me. I'm just not good enough. I'm just not smart enough. I'm just not fast enough. I'm just not strong enough. I'm just not, something enough. And this is sort of, a video that I kind of wanted to do because I kind of wanted to just let people know, because I haven't really heard a video specifically say this before, but I just wanted to kind of throw this out there and let people know that whatever you want to do in your life, whatever it is, you are good enough to do almost anything you can imagine. Okay, in terms of human beings and our potential, we all, okay, as long as we have a brain that operates properly, depending on the situation and what a person's trying to do, we all have amazing potential in our lives to do really whatever the hell we want. Even if a person, okay, let me give you an example, and because I know a lot of people, they try to put limits on things to try to say, yeah, but there's limitations, and this person, if they work this hard, are not going to be as good as that person. And I'm not disagreeing with you, but I truly believe, based on what I've seen in my experience in my life, that hard work can overcome any obstacle. Let's use a simple example for this type of topic. Something that we can all relate to, something that we've all done in our lives quite a bit, and that will be running. Okay, a very simple example. Okay, let's say you take a person at the age of 32, so middle age, probably in some of the worst shape of that they'll be in their whole life. Let's say they're overweight, they're 5'9", 230 pounds, 240 pounds. Very low muscle mass, very high body fat percentage. And you took that person, you asked that person, how fast are you? How fast can you run 1 mile? Okay, so let's say around your neighborhood, you just, you challenge the guy, how fast can you run a mile? Maybe the guy would respond to you and just say, well, I'm just not athletic. I'm not fast. I can't run. I can barely run a block without losing my breath. Okay, and at that point in his life, he's probably right. He probably can't. His body physically won't let him, do that, to run a mile very quickly. Let's say a 6-minute mile or something like that, which is, if someone can do that, they're very athletic if they can run a 6-minute mile at the age of 32. The person will probably say, I'm not a professional athlete, I'm not any of these kinds of things, I just can't do it. I'm just not athletic enough. If you took that same guy, okay, and you put him on a program, or I shouldn't say you, if he took himself and had the willpower to put himself on a program and he ran, okay, as fast as he could, even at the beginning, if it's really slow and he's out of breath almost the entire time, and he kept doing it, okay, and he ran 1 mile as fast as he could 5 or 6 days a week. Let's say at the beginning, he, it's really hard for him to do it. So let's say he only does it maybe 4 days. His body's really sore aside from that, so he can't do it the full 6 days. Let's say he starts off 3 or 4 days a week, 5 days a week. After a couple months, he moves up to 4 days, 5 days a week. And for 3 years, he runs as fast as he can from, the start to 1 mile, wherever that is. Also, let's say that person has 3 to 4 protein shakes a day, eats 5 pieces of fruit, has a chicken, lean chicken, grilled chicken, fish for a meal, and a healthy breakfast with, let's say, some kind of good whole wheat carbohydrates, or special K cereal, or something like this. And that guy did that for 3 years straight, okay? At the end of those 3 years, I don't care what kind of shape the dude was in when he was 32. When he's 35, if he was to continue doing that, that dude is going to be so fast, you wouldn't want to race that guy. You know what I mean? At the end of the 3-year period, when he's been following that plan, sticking to it, working hard, and every day, let's say 5 days a week or 4 days a week, running as fast as he can until his lungs are ready to burst every time for 3 years. At the end of that 3 years, that is not a dude you would want to race. And if someone was to see that dude, they'd say, that guy's gifted. That guy's just athletic, just by nature. And they would have no idea that 3 years previous to that guy would be really overweight, probably a horrible runner, probably think to himself, no matter how much I run, I would never be fast. I bet you after the 3 years are done, that dude would have hardly any trouble running a 6-minute mile. I'd almost guarantee it, regardless of how unathletic he is or how shitty he is, how bad he is at, how any of these things. He could do it if he took the time, he scheduled it, he stuck to it, and he did it for a couple years. Absolutely guaranteed. Let's go on past that to people who say, I'm just not smart enough, okay? Because that's another one. People could say, well, yeah, that's the body, and, I agree with you, Trevor. Obviously, if somebody did that for 3 years, they put themselves in that kind of shape. I mean, that's just simple stuff. I don't think many people would disagree that if someone actually stuck to that for 3 years, he would probably be, in terms of how fast he would be, he'd probably be in, faster than 90% of people out there, just from 3 years of hard work and doing it every day at that age. If you want to try to say that, yeah, but the mind is something different. Well, the thing is that the brain physiologically changes inside your head depending on what you do, similar to how the body does. We know that now. Neurologists now know that. Somebody who says, okay, let's say someone wants to become a doctor, but they say, I'm just not smart enough. Okay, I'm just not intelligent. I'm not smart enough. I couldn't do that. I couldn't go to a university and get a degree in biology or chemistry or any of these types of things. I could never get into med school. I could never do any of these things. I'm just not smart enough. If you took that person, you said, okay, how old are you now? Let's say the guy's 20. Can't get into universities, can't, grades are terrible, okay? Can't do any of that kind of stuff. And you took that same guy, and you had him read and study and make notes, okay, for 3 to 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I feel like with the mind, you don't really need to rest as much as you do with the body. With the body, you have to rest because it has to rebuild, but the mind, is the brain is it's not exactly the same. You don't really need to take a day off to rest. Maybe let's do 6 days a week. And that person studied as hard as they could, by themselves, okay, made notes and just went through biology textbooks every day. And let's say they did that for 3 years. Also, mixed in some English and mixed in some mathematics and all these kinds of things. And did that on their own for 3 or 4 hours a day, studied as hard as they could, made notes, did everything they possibly could for 3 years, and then, okay, started taking those courses, okay? By the time that person, those 3 years are done, that person, okay, registered for, whatever it is, biology at any university, I don't care, college, university, whatever. By the time they get in that program, that dude is going to be a smart dude. That guy's going to be getting 90s easy because when he gets to that point, he's going to be like, I already know all this stuff. I've already read all this. I read this a couple years ago. This is just like a refresher because I've already studied all this on my own, made my notes, done all these types of things. And through those 3 years of intense study, my brain has changed. Physically, it's actually changed. I am not this person that I was 3 years ago, okay? I am a new person, and I can do this. I already know this stuff, And then I relearn it, and I write the test. I guarantee you that dude would have one of the highest marks in his course at almost any university, any college there is. I pretty much guarantee it. It all depends on what you do and what you spend your time on, your life, and what you want to do. If that person had the drive to do it, if he put in the hard work, if he put in those hours, and he did it over a long period of time, a better question, than, what are my limits are, what aren't your limits? I mean, what can't you accomplish if you put in the hard work in your life and you go after things like that? What can't you do is probably a better question. What can't you do? So, in terms of my thoughts on, success and what can people do in their lives, what can they accomplish, for me, I almost think like these are excuses, man. People say, I'm just not good enough. I'm just not this or that. No, you have the potential. We all have the potential within ourselves to really accomplish and become whatever the hell we want to be. Now, of course, there are limitations to some degree, but I think those limitations are so much further up than what people think they are. It's just that people don't recognize and realize their full potential because they're not willing to either they're in denial and they don't realize what their full potential is, or they're not willing to put in enough hard work for long enough to really actualize it. And all these things are practical too. I mean, 3 hours a day, if you set your mind to it, you could really put, who can't afford 3 hours a day? Almost anybody can take 3 hours a day out of their life, 5 or 6 days a week, and do something. Whatever it is. Could be running, could be studying, could be building something, could be building a business, a YouTube channel, could be, anything that the person really wants to do in their lives, they could do. So, this is just kind of a video I thought I'd throw out there because, I'm sick and tired of people saying that I'm just not good enough or I'm just, I'm not gifted in that way. Well, hard work, I think, overcomes any obstacle, being that of, physical talent. I mean, talent by itself definitely is not enough, and hard work can overcome talent almost every time. So anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think about the topic. Heavily interesting topic. What are people's limits? And, you know, excuses, man. Absolute excuses. See you for the next one, guys. Peace.